Out Japan, 2 points in the win over Turkey yesterday. Now for the introductions of Russia. They're starting six, making their way out onto court. So here's confirmation of the starting lineups then. First of all, Japan. High scorer from yesterday. Ai Kurogo not starting, but Ishii is taking up starting position. Their familiar wing spiker position. Kabata is the libero. And for Russia, Margarita Carrillo, the leading scorer. Filipenko, for the Russian team. Between her and Kabata, well, we have two absolute dynamos in that libero position. Both of them consistently adept at rescuing seemingly lost causes. So it's Japan to get this one underway. Kabata into action immediately on the second bump. Oh, towering block at the net, and the index finger raised immediately by Angelina Lazarenko. First points on the board for Russia. Lazarenko, among the leading blockers on her team, ranking 4th in that regard coming into this match. Tough service reception by Kabata, push deep by Japan. Kabata called into action, yes, once again, to dig out the spike. Delicately placed spike over the net, was repelled out of bounds by the Russian defenders, attempting to block it. Misdirection on that ricochet, and we are all square at 1. So Osanai preparing to serve. Jump spike serve is dealt with by Filipenko. Emphatically put away at the net by the Russian captain, Efimova. Didn't climb high, but killed it quickly. Clean kill produced by Iwasaka, the Japanese captain. So both of the skippers getting involved in the point scoring early, breaching the gap between the brace of Russian defenders at the net. Oh, the ricochet was too strong off Osanai. No way that Iwasaka would have been able to reel that one in. She would have to make like a hurdler to clear the barrier. She was to have any hope in getting a touch on that, such was the force of the ricochet. As Carrillo prepares to serve. Russia leading by 1. Oh, that is emphatically spanked downward sharply by Akutagawa. A super spike indeed. Got off the floor very quickly. Watch her contact here. Cleverly set and right in between the legs of Kalitskaya. All square, 3-3, but not for long, because Efimova with an attack down the right flank, produces a perfectly placed kill. Inward angle, bisecting the gap between Kabata and Osanai. It's a rather wide boulevard, truth be told, and it was capitalized upon easily enough. Russia lead by 1, Efimova serving. Backcourt spike is thundered down, Efimova with the dig. So the reverse set, and it's brilliantly executed by Akutagawa, her second point of the match, both of them on clean kills. Different variety on this one compared to her first point. The reverse set, perfectly placed from Sato, elevating off one leg and pushing it down with the fingertips in front of Carrillo, who dropped down but to no avail. We're all square, 4-4. So Russia, a little bit out of sequence there, and it left them at the mercy of a backcourt spike. And despite the hustle of Irinskaya trying to run it down, to no avail, because it came off as though shot from a cannon, bouncing off Pilipenko. No way that the libero could control it. Japan lead by 1. But that service error hands the serve straight back to Russia. We're all square, 5 points apiece, and Japan's first lead of the match was short-lived. So going from 3-4 down to 5-4 up, that was the first time in the match that a team has strung together. 2 points, Matieva with the serve. Big spike from that left wing. Osanai with her first points of the match. 12 points yesterday, 12 points in the match against Belgium. Didn't feature yesterday, but gets her first points on the board here. So Akutagawa, 6 points in the match already with the serve. 2 points in the match already of Japan 6 serving. Terrifically executed. Osanai moves to 2 points in the match on that kill she produced on an acute angle. Fantastic elevation. Lazarenko slightly late on arrival, and she wasn't able to get a contact to keep her team in the point. So Russia looking to bring up the first technical timeout. They lead by 2. Very good effort from Shinobi, but not able to keep it in play. So Japan sees their run of points come to an end at 2. Russia back to within 1. Wide of the mark on the attempted spike from Osanai. Couldn't find the accuracy on that attempted spike. And we are all square, 7 points apiece. Oh, terrific blocking at the net. Perfect positioning from Carrillo. And it's Russia who take a 1-point lead into the first technical timeout. Fantastic mobility in the front court, sliding across, elevating, and then getting terrific penetration to kill that attempted spike dead with the stuff block. Russia leading by 1 at the first technical timeout. Well, the Russian captain Efimova, joint leading scorer for her team so far, with 2 points. This was the first of them. Terrific put away at the net. She has been really dynamic. So Japan tie things up at 8 points apiece on the resumption after that first technical timeout. Russia's rhythm broken once again. This will give Japan plenty of time to set. And Carrillo claims the point with a spike that Japan cannot keep in bounds on the block. So Carrillo moves to 3 points in the match. Shinobi unable to control the contact. So Russia leading by 1. Lazarenko serving. Clean hitting at the net once more results in another point. Kaletskaya moves to 2 points in the match. The rebound lands out of bounds. Again, Shinobi getting the height to be able to control where she's placing the block. But that service error from Lazarenko brings Japan back to within 1. So Pilipenko receives the jump spike serve. Good dig out by Sato. Oh, wonderfully placed spike from Shinobi. It fairly trickled over the net. Very low speed, but the precision and the placement was perfect. Fantastic technique. Carving on the inside of that ball to curve it away from the Russian defenders. We're all square at 10. What a save from Kabata. Japan still in the point. The libero at a dynamic best. Called into action once again to keep that spike alive. Oh, wonderful placement down the left side by Ishii. And Japan turning around a difficult situation to come out on top in the point. The first mega rally in the match. Because how about that for the second dig out from Kabata? She had a more athletic one when called into action for the first time, and then wonderful technique by Ishii. 2 points in the match for her now, going straight down the sidelines from the left wing, and she puts her team up by 1. 2 points in the match for her. More jump spike serving on its way from Osanai. And it's an unreturnable serve, an ace. Russia placed at 6s and 7s by the speed and dip of that serve from Osanai. Her first ace of the match. Timeout has been called. She moves to 4 points in the game, and Japan equaling their largest lead of the match with a 2-point cushion.
подаю. Я скажу, когда укорачиваю. Не надо это делать, идет подача нормально. Зачем мы отдаем мяч? Снимаемся.
Давай, снимаем. Эй! Давай, помочь.
So Japan on a run of 4 points without reply. And the most recent one coming from an unreturnable serve. Osanai has the hot hand. She's serving for Japan. They lead 12-10. Well, Carrillo climbing high and getting the better of Shinobi at the net. Going right over the top of the attempted block that Shinobi attempted to erect. And that ends Japan's run of 4 consecutive points. Russia back to within 1. Kaletskaya with the serve. Clever drop from Ishii. Will she be caught into action again here? Quick change of tempo from Japan on the low set. And the same evidence, same tactic once again, and on this occasion, it's successful. Iwasaka receiving very low sets. Watch how quickly this set comes. Really low, really flat. Boom, she hammers it over. They knocked on the door twice, and on the second one, it was beyond the outstretched reach of Kaletskaya. Japan up by 2 once again. And this time it's Carrillo with the clever play. No force required on this decisive point. Dropping it delicately over the net to bring her team back to within one. 5 points in the match now for Carrillo to lead all scorers. She's serving. Way out of bounds on that attempted spike from Yerenskaya. It's a 2-point lead once more for Russia. Excuse me, for Japan. Shinobi prepares to serve. 2 points in the match so far. Tough dig out by Ostanai. They have to get it over on contact number 3. Ishii does so. And even Kabata can't keep that one alive. Came down at high speed in her direction. Despite making contact, the control was lacking. High speed spike from Yerenskaya. Russia back to within one. 2 points in the match for Yerenskaya. Femova serving. Good improvisation by Ishii. Backcourt spike set up and bisecting the Russian defensive ranks effectively was Ostanai. Climbing high, Carrillo got a hand on it, but Carrillo could not control it. So Japan up by 2 once again. Ishii with 2 points in the match, serving for Japan. Yerenskaya moves to 3 points in the match on that put away. And it remains a back and forth encounter as we approach the second technical timeout. Well, it's deflected out of bounds. It's almost as though Carrillo got caught in two minds there. It was coming in her direction. Was she going to play it? She tried to get out of the way, but didn't get enough of her body out of the way. Took the shot on the right delt, and it deflected out of bounds to bring up the second technical timeout. Japan with a 2-point advantage. They were down by 1 at the first technical timeout. Well, Ostanai is leading all scorers in this match with 6 points. 5 of them coming on clean kills, including an unreturnable serve as well in her points total. Terrific bounce, getting up quickly, and then a really fast arm. Here's the unreturnable serve. Yours, mine, ultimately nobody's. So, Akutagawa with the serve. 2 points in the match so far. Japan lead by 2. Good dig out by Shinobi. Backcourt spike from Ishii is an effective one. Ishii moves to 3 points in the match, and it gives Japan their largest lead of the match. They are up by 3. Deflected out of bounds on that spike, which was going straight down the sidelines. So Kaletskaya with the point-winning play. Yerenskaya with the serve. Oh, what a recovery from Kabata, but that's too many contacts. But that's just illustrative of the incredible reactions that these athletes possess. Watch how the ball gets deflected in the direction of the libero here. And as quick as a flash, she's able to get An arm underneath it, but to no avail ultimately. Russia back to within 1. Well, Russia led at 10 points to 8. That was their last lead. It's Japan with a 2-point lead at this juncture. But that service error hands the points and the serve straight back to them as they reduce the deficit to just 1. Oh, that is sensational. Osanai moving to 7 points in the match on that, her 6th clean kill. Wonderful setup, executed efficiently by Osanai. She's serving now. The service error. An increased likelihood of that, of course, when you're an exponent of the jump spike serve. But when it goes in, it is such a difficult weapon to deal with. So Russia back to within 1. Kaletskaya preparing to serve 4 points in the match so far. Well, Ishii sees it turned back by a combination of Afimova and Matvieva. All square at 19 points apiece. As Kaletskaya serving. Oh my goodness, well that's something of a gift from Japan. And Russia received it gratefully because they got their approach play wrong. Now watch this, goes straight over on the first contact from Sinabi, got the attempted bump, all wrong. Afimova couldn't believe her eyes and feasted on the gift that was presented in her direction. Russia have strung together 3 successive points and they take the lead for the first time since they were ahead on the scoreboard, 10-9. So Kaletskaya serving. Good save in the backcourt by Kaletskaya, and it's Japan who end that run of 3 straight points that Russia had put together to tie things up at 20. Now Japan demonstrated terrific composure yesterday, and just as they did in their victory over Turkey, they call in Nabea, who is so cool on the serve. It's a flat serve, not high speed. Terrific hustle by Nabea to get down and get the back of her hand beneath that volleyball. And Pilipenko can't reciprocate the act. Her dive just a little bit late. Sees Russia come up short. And it's Japan who take the point. So Russia have called timeout, trailing by 1. Earlier in this rally, there was a sensational save by the server Nabea to keep her team in the point, a point that they ultimately secured. Well, I was referring to the composure that Russia demonstrated yesterday, Japan demonstrated yesterday in their victory over Turkey. They were down 8-1 in that opening set. They didn't take their first lead until 23-22. And yet they still closed it out to take the first set, 25 points to 23. They're in a slightly advantageous position here. They've called upon Nabeya to serve. Russia just having to ensure that they get their rotation correct. Wouldn't want an infringement in that regard to hand a point to Japan at this critical stage. And so it will be Nabeya serving for Japan. They lead 21-20. Well, Carrillo called into play on the reverse set, and after receiving the initial bump, the reverse set came in her direction. Carrillo elevating magnificently off the set from Risava, approaching 84 kilometers per hour. And it squares things up at 21. Cleverly dinked over by Carrillo, but a terrific response by Ishii. That one sent up high, so Russia with time to set, Japan with time to recover. Sato with the bump. There's the set. The spike put down and producing a point-winning play for Sato. A lengthy rally. And it's Japan who come out with the point. Wonderful recovery to keep that point alive. The backcourt spike from Osanai. How about that for hustle from the leading scorer? And then it was actually Shinobi who came in on the right wing to put the point away. So Japan leading by 1. Shinobi with the serve. Backcourt spike from Carrillo was dealt with by Shinobi. And then the deflection out of bounds sees the point go on to the total of Ishii. She moves to 5 points in the match. Japan edge ahead by 2. Looking to bring up set point at the first opportunity here. Russia are going to have to bounce back once again. They led briefly at 20 points to 19, but since that time they have been outscored 4 points to 1. Japan with a 2-point edge as Shinobi serves. That's tough for Yurinskaya to deal with, and the Yurinskaya's radar was all over the place on that occasion. Service reception was difficult. It went backwards over her head, and then when she was called into play to get it over on contact number 3, she put it way beyond the baseline. So set point for Japan. Shinobi serving. Good dig out in the backcourt by Sato, by Osanai, but she can't control the direction. And a wonderful recovery from Yurinskaya, demonstrating the short-term memory loss that all athletes can benefit from. She had a torrid time on the previous point, but when called upon on the subsequent point, she made no mistake, trusting herself to get her team back into this one. And then in action at the net. But it's Japan who close out the first set after the block could not be controlled. So Japan who takes set number 1, 25 points to 22. A hard-fought affair against Russia. Expect nothing less between teams ranked so closely in the global standings. Russia number 5, Japan number 6. But it's Japan who take the first set by a 3-point margin. Japan 25, Russia 22 in 28 minutes of play.
Нормально, играем хорошо.
So some of the highlights from that opening set as we take a look at the serve placement of the Japanese squad. Pretty evenly distributed down the left and right flanks. As we take a look at the setter contact points for Russia. The majority of them coming around that center and right-hand side of the net. It'll be interesting to see how they relate to the Japanese contact points, because they use the tactic of low setter contact points to put up low opportunities just over the net for their team, using their speed. They're a shorter team on average by some 11 centimeters when compared to Russia. Russia's average across the board 1.87 meters, Japan 1.76. So despite being the shorter team across the board, they almost try to turn that into an asset with low setter contact points and utilizing their terrific court speed around the playing area. Second set underway. It's deflected out of bounds to give Japan the first point of set number 2. Barta got a touch on it. Osanai with the second contact. Ishii gets it over on contact number 3, calling Carrillo into action. She then with the spike, diving save to her right from Osanai. Pilipenko put in the firing line of an absolute rocket, and all she could do was repel it out of bounds. Ishii moving to 6 points in the match. There's a terrific save from Osanai. Pilipenko not able to control that one. Terrific blocking at the net from a combination of Iwasaka and Ishii. And it's Japan who have raced out to a 3-0 lead. Pushed over by Ishii. Pilipenko with the set. And unable to get it over was Kaletskaya, because again she was met by a duo of Japanese defenders who turned back her attempted dink. And it's Japan who have raced out to a 4-0 lead. The largest lead of the match so far, enjoyed by either side. Japan led by 3 at 17-14, and of course took the first set by 3, 25-22. Service error from Osanai sees Russia get their first point on the board in this second set. Now trailing 1-4 as Lazarenko prepares to serve. Ishii sees her spike turn back, caught into action once more, and it's repelled once again. Terrific blocking from Kuznetsova and Efimova. Kuznetsova getting the decisive contact, her first points of the match for Kuznetsova. Russia close to within 2. Terrific reflexes, my goodness, Russia extending that point somehow. But then they were pulled all over the court, plenty of space for Japan to breach, and they did so efficiently and effectively. They're up by 3. So Carrillo putting that attempted spike long, but Russia claiming contact at the net, and the point has been given in their direction. It must have been deflected out of bounds. And it's Japan who are requesting a challenge because they feel that there was no contact at the net. So the first challenge of the match today, what will Hawkeye's verdict be? And there's confirmation that there was no touch. So the point goes in favor of Japan, and they will have the serve. So that score has now been amended. So that it reads 6-2 after that successful challenge launched by Japan. So Iwasaka serving, 5 points in the match so far. Well, Carrillo moves to 7 points in the match. Joint high scorer for this match so far, her team's leading scorer. 6 clean kills now for Russia's leading scorer in the tournament. So Kuznetsova serving. So a point gifted to Japan from the Russian error on the setup. Shinobi serving. Beautiful play by Carrillo, soaring high in the air, but demonstrating fantastic body control. Wonderful hang time, and then just pushing this one down with both power and precision, but at low speed. That's a fantastic play. Terrific save by Carrillo. Solid blocking at the net by Japan. Carrillo clips the net on her attempted kill, and then effectively concluding the point is Akutagawa. Moves to 4 points in the match. And that brings about the first technical timeout. Look at that for a save from Carrillo, down low and to her left. Akutagawa, who produced the point-winning play to bring up the first technical timeout. Japan equaling their largest lead of the match. The advantage is 4. So this is where Russia have elected to place their serve, favoring that left side heavily. And this is the Japan setter contact points. So many of them in and around the center, and most of them lower the nose of their Russian counterparts. Service error from Japan. Russia reduced the deficit to just 3. Efimova serving, 3 points in the match so far. But back-to-back service errors committed by the respective teams. It's a 4-point lead once again for Japan. What a save by Pilipenko. And the attempted spike from Russia wide. But Pilipenko getting down in a hurry, producing a terrific serve where she went to court almost face first, but was still able to extend her team's time in the point. Ultimately has gone in the direction of Japan. They now lead by 5, their largest lead of the set, their largest lead of the match so far. Very cleverly put away by Matvieva. Second point of the match for her, changing the rhythm. Swatting it down quickly. Reaching the Japanese front line and dropping it in front of their backcourt defenders. Gap has been close to 4. Wide of the mark on the attempted kill. Now Russia are inquiring as to whether there was a deflection at the net. Just consulting with their coach as to whether they should launch a challenge. And they have indeed requested a challenge to see whether this ball was deflected on its way to landing out of bounds on a cross-court kill fired across by Russia. And it is just out, my goodness. Very fine margin, but the wrong side of the line from the Russian perspective. And it's a 6-point advantage now for Japan. Terrifically clean put away by Urinskaya. 4 points in the match for her now. But Russia looking to end the recent trend of being outscored 2 points to 1 in these exchanges. Currently down by 5. Urinskaya with the serve. What a spike, what a save from Pilipenko, and she's absolutely ecstatic, because having been placed in the firing line, she demonstrated astonishing reflexes. And by getting it back over the net, it has produced a point-winning play. Absolutely fantastic. The libero posting a point. And it's back-to-back points for Russia now on an unreturnable serve. Japan bring that run of 3 successive points scored by Russia to an end. To put themselves up by 4. So another jump spike serve on its way from Ostanai. Difficult for Russia to deal with. Terrific diving save to a right from Kabata. Ishii places it over. Russia must get it over on this third contact. And the attempted attack from the left wing, launched by Kaletskaya, is wide of the mark. Japan up by 5. Oh, terrific save in the front court produced by Sato, keeping Japan in the point. Carrillo going for the power this time. It's turned back by the Japanese blockers. Pilipenko with the set. And on this occasion, the put away up the right-hand side for Russia reaps dividends. But what a fantastic rally we've just witnessed. How about this for a save? Getting low was Sato. kept her team in it. It's point and serve to Russia. They're down by 4. Quick reflexes from Kabata. Efimova with the first contact. Now Carrillo once again. Japanese block is solid. Oh, wonderful precision on that backcourt spike. Ostanite, the first scorer to double digits in this match, putting her team up by 5 once again. That is emphatic from Efimova. 4 points in the match for her now. A low set. She was all over it in an instant. So Kaletskaya serving. 5 points in the match so far. Oh, sensational from Ishii. Unerring accuracy on her clean kills at the net. Absolutely sensational hitting. A rapid arm, but no loss of precision. That takes Ishii to 7 points in the match now, as Japan bring about technical timeout number 2 with a 5-point lead. Well, Iwasaka has been a real force at the net. 2 stuffed blocks in a 6-point total. She's been called into action. She has been really solid in the front court, extending her team, staying points, turning back spike attempts, making Russia work, and coming up with 4 clean kills as well. 10 points in the 3rd match last week, the 3-1 loss to Belgium. 2 points yesterday against Turkey. She's got 6 points in this match so far. So Japan serving up by 5. Oh, Carrillo turned back by a combination of Akuta.
Дальше работаем, нормальный счет. За очко, по очку цепляем, по очку.
Well, Carrillo moves to 9 points in the match now on that, her eighth point winning spike over the top of the duo of Japanese defenders, Sato and Akutagawa, who converged on the net. So Carrillo serving, her team's leading scorer. Team down by 5, and it's an unreturnable serve. First ace of the match for Carrillo. Takes her to 10 points total. Joint leading scorer in the match so far. Japan see their lead cut to 4. Oh, terrific block at the net, but the point's still alive. What a play. And right now, Carrillo is absolutely on fire. How about that for reflexes from Ostanite? But then Carrillo called upon for the backcourt spike, and that one like a rocket over the net. So Japan have called timeout, having seen Russia put a run together of 3 points without reply to close what was a 6-point deficit. They've chopped it in half to trail by just 3. Oh, terrific blocking at the net. Efimova right in position and right on time with her jump. Fantastic penetration over the top of the tape. And Russia right back in this one. They are down just 2. 4 points without reply. As Carrillo looks to extend this run of scoring, but it's an unforced error from Carrillo. So the 2-point deficit is short-lived. Kabata getting down low to keep that one alive. Now it's deflected out of bounds, is it? Japan thought so, but no contact from the Russian defenders. On the backcourt spike put over by Ishii. Oh, terrific blocking. Lazarenko and Yurinskaya combining to produce that monster block and send that one deep into the Japanese backcourt, but landing in bounds. It's Yurinskaya with her first block of the match to take her to 6 points total. The Russian captain serving, a team down by 1. Quick reflexes from Carrillo. Must go over on this contact. Kaletskaya obliges. Oh, another fantastic block. Lazarenko reaching up high to get her first points of the match on that stuff block and tie things up at 18 points apiece. The first time that Russia have been even on the scoreboard in this second set since it started, and it was 0-0. Terrific fight back by Russia, who have been down by 6 on 2 occasions. Efimova serving. Oh, the block party continues for Russia. Lazarenko proving unbeatable at the net, coming up with back-to-back monster blocks to give her team their first lead of this second set. Unsurprisingly, Japan have called timeout. They want to talk things over and try to cool off this run of momentum that Russia have been able to build. They take their first lead of the match. So Russia leading for the first time in this second set. They have gone up by 1. Japan looking to stem their run of 3 successive points. As Efimova appears to serve. Oh, an unreturnable serve, an error of judgment from Japan. Sees Efimova come up with her second ace of the match. Japan electing not to play it, and the ball dipped to land inside the baseline. Terrific save by Carrillo. She then pushes it over on contact number 3. Well, fantastic reflexes demonstrated by Russia, but that run of 4 points without reply comes to an end with them leading by 1. Fantastic play by Russia to claw back what was a 6-point deficit to get themselves back on level terms and then go ahead for the first time in the match. How will Japan respond now? Trailing by 1. As Miyashita prepares to serve, checking into the game off the bench. And it's Russia who take the point. Ball bouncing and landing in their favor. They have a 2-point lead approaching the winning post of this second set. So Matvieva preparing to serve, 2 points in the match so far. Well, something of a broken play there because Ishii could only push it over on what was the third contact for Japan. But in doing so, it seemed to catch Russia. Rather out of sorts is a contact by Matvieva with the net on the way up. And that bringing Japan back to within one. Oh, terrific blocking once more by Russia as their defensive prowess continues to come to the fore. Lazarenko has been absolutely sensational. Highlighted that she's the fourth best blocker for Russia coming into this match. But she is proving unbreachable today. 3 blocks in the match so far. The team up by 2. Terrific save by Osanai. Russia sent scrambling, but to no avail. The point goes in favor of Japan, who remain hot on the Russians' heels. They are down by just 1. But they've been outscored heavily since leading 17 points to 11 just after the second technical timeout. How they could do with a run of points in succession here. Good save in the backcourt. Poropenko with the bump for Japan, but then how about that for a block at the net? Iwasaka and Ishii combining to turn back that attempted spike and tie things up at 22 points apiece. Deep into this second set, this one going down to the wire. It's Iwasaka who comes up with the crucial contact. Her third stuff block of the match so far. 7 points total for her. So Lazarenko taking a seat on the bench. And what a weapon she has been defensively for Russia. 3 blocks in her 4-point total, all of them coming in close succession deep into this second set as Osanai prepares to serve. And it's long, well judged by Russia. Again, we mentioned the fact that when it's a jump spike serve, margin for error very low indeed. That one just beyond the baseline, and Russia now looking to bring up set point. Lazarenko checks back in. Zaitseva takes a seat on the bench. Lazarenko serving. Can she continue the red hot form she's displayed deep in set number 2? Good save in the backcourt. Osanai sent scrambling to her right. Ishii sees it turn back. Quick reflexes by Iwasaka. And it's the point to Japan, who tie things up. Russia not able to bring up set points at the first opportunity. So we are all square, 23 points apiece. And once again, Japan go to the bench for the cool, calm composure that Nabea brings to her serve. She is so reliable in this regard, Nabea. Terrific blocking, Russia on the run. They keep it alive. Carrillo looking to bring up the point, and somehow, Russia come away with that point to bring up set point. A trio of players came together at the net. Carrillo for Russia, Shinobi and Akutagawa for Japan. And the point goes in favor of Russia. Didn't take the first lead until 1918. They were down 17-11 just after the second technical timeout. And here they are with the ball in the hand of Kalitskaya serving for the match. Excuse me, serving for the second set. And there it is. Carrillo with the kill down the left wing. Takes her to 13 points in the match so far on that, her 11th point-winning spike. And that sees Russia take the second set with a terrific run late in set number 2 to overturn a 6-point deficit on 2 occasions, capitalizing on the first lead that they established at 19 points to 18. But they were stronger in the closing stages, and they take set number 2 by a scoreline of 25 points to 23 to tie things up at 1 set apiece. So the stats so far in this match that is currently tied up at 1 set apiece. Japan with slightly more points overall, 50 points to 47, but that a fair indication as to how close this one has been. But Russia, you saw that they had a 5-point advantage in terms of blocks, and my goodness, did their blocking prowess come to the fore during the course of that second set. There was one stage in the second set where they produced 4 blocks in a row, Lazarenko in the thick of it, and they went from 18-15 down to 20-18 up. Fantastic positioning, wonderful penetration, and those blocks absolutely crucial in Russia taking their first lead of the second set at 19-18, and then they closed it out to even things up at 1 set apiece. A fairly even distribution in terms of Russia spikers, attacking almost equally down the right and left flanks. Carrillo, their leading spiker, with 11 in the match so far. Third set underway. It's all square at 1 set all. Filipenko with the good save. And now Kabata reciprocating, the other libero on the other side of the net. The libero's in the thick of the action to begin set number 3. And it's deflected out of bounds by Ishii. Russia come away with the point. Continuing to ride the wave of momentum that they established in the closing stages of set number 2. They lead by 1. Oh, an unreturnable serve, and Lazarenko continues to stuff the stat sheet. She is on fire. 5 points in the match now. Her first ace of the matchup so far. Oh, Lazarenko not able to control that one. It was aiming right for her numbers. Did well to get a left bicep on it. But Japan get their first point on the board. Cut the gap to just 1. So Kurogo serving. Very clever play by Carrillo. Just dropping it deftly over the descending defenders. And again, the body control is to be admired. Russia lead by 2. Carrillo with 14 points in the match on 12-point winning kills. Wonderful precision on that backcourt spike. So Kurogo with her first points of the match. Remember, she was the leading scorer yesterday. She didn't feature, or hasn't featured so far in this match. Was checked in with immediate impact, but not even she can react quickly enough to keep that one alive from Carrillo. 15 points now, and already in set number 3, Carrillo with a pair of clean kills. An unreturnable serve. Kabata unable to cope with the serve that came in her direction from Carrillo. She moves to 16 points in the match on her second ace. Terrific placement, completely bamboozling the Japanese libero who attempted to receive. So Shinobi preparing to serve. 1 ace in her 8-point total. But a service error gives the point straight back to Russia. They lead by 3 once again. So Lazarenko checking into the match. Pilipenko, the libero, takes a seat on the bench. Oh, but despite the reinforcements to the Russian front line, Akutagawa still able to come up with the kill to take her to 6 points in the match. Reaching the gap that existed between Yurinskaya and Lazarenko. Japan back to within 3. Terrific save by Shinobi. Kabata scrambling desperately to her left, but can't close the distance in time. And it's Russia who arrive at the 8-point total to bring around the first technical timeout. They do so with a 4-point lead, equaling their largest lead of this third set so far.
Бьется, да. 24 открываем пятую зону, закрываем первую. Тройка наоборот. Тройка бьет больше в пятую. Поменяем немножко. Отбитого больше играем. Не пропусти, сейчас будут играть по ширине. Крайне стоим широко, смотрим.
Well, Carrillo leads her team in scoring, leads all scorers with 16 points in the match so far. And already in this third set, she has got 3 points on the board with 2 clean kills and an ace as well. Russia's leading scorer for the tournament, continuing in that vein here in this matchup against Japan. 63 total points coming into this encounter. She's produced some terrific plays and crucial moments for her side. So Matvieva serving. 2 points in the match so far. Ishii with the backcourt spike. Carrillo could do nothing about it. Aiming at her toes on a steep trajectory, but she couldn't get beneath the volleyball to control the contact. So Ishii with 8 points in the match now. Japan reduced the gap to 3. Tough reception by Pilipenko, the libero. Bumped over by Carrillo. Backcourt spike is effective in back-to-back plays for Ishii. 9 points in the match for her now. And that one traveling at high speed, but no loss of accuracy. Japan down by 2. Well, Pilipenko and Carrillo coming into one another's territory there, and in doing so, Pilipenko wasn't able to control her contact points. Japan have trailed by as many as 4, but they've put 3 points on the board without reply and have reduced the deficit to just 1. Russia call timeout.
Мы с тобой идем, отсюда идем первый темп. Не надо туда сейчас. Не задача, заказ, зона 2.
Well, Japan were being pulled all over the court during the course of that point. Russia able to keep their noses in front, increase their lead to 2. Good recovery by Japan. Scrambling save produced by Matvieva. Ishii caught into action on the backcourt spike. Matvieva getting down to bump it alive for Russia. It's long on the attempted kill from Russia, and Japan close to within 1 once again. Been down by as many as 4 on multiple occasions. Looking for their first tie since it was scoreless at the start of set number 3. They can't find it because Carrillo continues to come up with clean kills at the net once again. Terrifically placed spike. And despite the efforts of Shinobi and Iwasaka, the point goes on Russia's total. Carrillo with 17 points in the match now. Lazarenko serving. But a service error brings Japan back to within 1 once again. So Pilipenko coming in for Lazarenko as Kurogo serves. Well, it's a terrific effort by Japan to try and keep the point alive. But despite their diving efforts, it's ultimately in vain. And it's Russia who lead by 2. So Kaletskaya serving. 7 points in the match to this point. Wonderful hitting from Shinobi. There was all kind of space straight down the right-hand side, and that is where she aimed her spike. Take her to 9 points in the match, bring her team back to within 1. Quick thinking by Ishii. Russia respond in that regard. Rat-a-tat exchange at the net. Oh, but then an error of execution from the leading scorer in the match. Carrillo couldn't control her contact and could only push it into the net on her side of the court. We're all square at 11. The first tie of this second set since the first tie of this third set since the start. Japan looking to build on their momentum. Deflected out of bounds, was it? No, the point goes in favor of Japan. And for the first time in set number 3, Japan take the lead. It was the net cord that deflected it, not a Japanese athlete. And so Japan in front for the first time on a run of 3 points without reply at this juncture. And the serve just wide, well judged by Russia. We are all square, 12 points apiece. So Carrillo serving, 2 aces in her 17-point total. Fantastic dig out by Pilipenko. But an illegal contact. Sees Japan take the point to go up by 1 once again. Wonderful dig from Shinobi. What a save from Pilipenko. And it's Russia who come up with the point. What a fantastic point we've just witnessed. Not a lengthy rally, but the athleticism on display was astounding. So we are all square. 13 points apiece. Efimova serving. 1 ace in her 6-point haul. Wonderful hitting by Akutagawa. 7 points in the match now, all of them coming on clean spikes. Japan edge ahead once again. Got to go over on this contact from Japan. Russia in position at the net to block solidly. But it's Japan who come out on top. They have their largest lead of the third set so far. The advantage is 2. Oh, an unreturnable serve from Ishii. Carrillo unable to deal with the deviation that was taking it away to her left. And that brings about the second technical timeout. Japan on a run of 3 points without reply, lead by 3, 16-13 in the third set.
強打待ち続けないで、意外にそのいい状態で入れてきてるので、そこをしっかり狙っていけば、バックライトもしてバックライト。ラリーにしたら結構決めてるからどうしても下がっていったら。
Well, Shinobi has 9 points on the board so far in this match, an ace and 8 clean kills so far in set number 3. She's produced one of those kills when she went right down the right flank. Again, Japan showing no signs of hangover, having conceded that second set. Very composed, staying in the moment, as are Russia, and that is why we have such a hard-fought, keenly contested affair here, 2/3 of the way through set number 3. What an effort from Pilipenko, and Russia keep it alive. But they were put at the mercy of the Japanese offense. Because look at Pilipenko run this one down, colliding with the advertising hoardings, eyes on nothing but the volleyball. That was after Carrillo struggled to deal with the serve. And then as they tried to take up their positions and recover, Japan easily able to exploit the spaces that existed. Now we were eulogizing the wonderful effort put forth by Pilipenko, the libero, but she collided with the advertising hoarding at high speed. She's given the thumbs up to suggest that she's okay. Let's hope that her mobility isn't impaired, because she is a crucial cog in the Russian machine. Look at that, the elbows came into contact with it, so too the knees. They're tough customers, these volleyball players. The action resumes, Japan up by 4. So Japan's run of successive points comes to an end at 4. Russia reduced the arrears to just 3. Matt Vieira prepares to serve. 13-17. 14-17, excuse me. Down by 3. Terrific save by Pilipenko once again. Russia still in the points. Carrillo puts it over, but she also puts it long. And Japan equal their largest lead of the match once again. The advantage is 4. So Miyashita serving. Oh, and it lands in bounds. Lazarenko with the precise put away on that cross-court kill. So a service error from Yurinskaya. And the serve and the point straight back to Japan. Up by 4 once again for the 3rd time in this 3rd set. Russia had to reach to get it over on contact number 3, but then the towering block in evidence once again. Kalitskaya and Lazarenko combining to turn back that spike that was rocketed in their direction. And it was at around this juncture of set number 2 where Russia's defenses proved unbreachable, and they got themselves their first lead of the 2nd set. We see a similar turn of events here. Shinobi gets it over. Lazarenko to court to keep it alive for Russia. Carrillo straight down the sideline. And the attack down the left wing, profitable once again for Russia. Carrillo with another clean kill brings her team back to within 2, carving that one straight down the wing. 18 points in the match for Carrillo now on 15 clean kills. Russia back to within 2. Japan have called timeout.
Зона! Помочь одной рукой, зона!
The service error from Lazarenko sees Japan arrive at the 20-point total with a 3-point advantage. Filipenko with a service reception. Carrillo with another point-winning spike, extending her team high total to 19 points, 16 of them coming on clean putaways. Shinobi and Iwasaka unable to turn that one back for Japan. Oh, fantastic precision from Shinobi. She made the initial service reception and then the set was placed perfectly for her and she rifled it down the sidelines to produce another point-winning play. The reverse set, and look at that. Well, it was actually deflected out of bounds. I initially thought it landed in, but it was deflected out of bounds on her execution. So Nabeya into action once again. Called up from the bench. Diving save by Nabeya. Oh, wonderful placement. This time Shinobi with back-to-back points. So Russia calling timeout as Japan edge ahead by 4, equaling their largest lead of the match. It was the server Nabeya diving down low to her right to keep her team in the point. So Russia to stitch something together here. As Japan just 3 points away from the winning post.
Все, нормально, если что,
Алина, введенные станции к сетке еще. И шире, шире, шире. Сложно мне вниз.
Well, it's a familiar tactic in baseball. Here's the closer, called up from the bullpen to save or get the win. Nabeya has adopted a similar role here in Week 2 play of the VNL. And that deep deflection edges Japan closer towards the winning total. They are up by 5, their largest lead of this third set. And they're in the midst of a run of 3 straight points. So Russia have got to respond here because they're running out of room in which to negotiate a fight back. Vorobyeva checks into the match. And that attempted kill from Carrillo is out of bounds. So it is set point to Japan. A challenge has been requested. So there's confirmation that it was no touch. Carrillo wide with her attempted kill. And it is set point for Japan. And it's long on this occasion as well. And it is Japan who take the third set by a 6-point margin. But Russia launching another challenge. Their previous one was unsuccessful. There was no touch. I think that is the nature of their inquiry on this occasion. The ball appeared to be long. Were they questioning whether it was in or out or a deflection? Hawkeye called into action to determine the outcome of one of those inquiries. And here's confirmation that there is no touch. So the point goes in favor of Japan. And they take the third set by a 7-point margin, coming on strong and rattling off 5 points without reply to close out set number 3. And they now take a 2-1 lead. Here's a look at how they did it. Carrillo trying to go down the sideline, putting it above the Japanese blockers. There, the moment of confirmation that Japan lead Russia by 2-1. So, stats in the match so far. Japan leading Russia in terms of total points, 75-65. You can see it's Russia still with a big edge in terms of blocks. Russia have committed more errors than Japan. All of those numbers combining to see Japan 2-1 ahead in terms of sets. As we take a look at the Japanese service placement, there's a point of comparison between sets 2 and 3. Here the service placements in the second set where they heavily favored the left wing. And it's almost a direct swap, favoring the right flank far more heavily in set number 3. Where will they place them on this occasion? As we get the fourth set underway. So Russia, if they hope to avoid losing 3 straight matches for just the second time in VNL play, well, they're going to have to force this one to the 5-set distance. Oh, wonderful placement from Japan. Shinobi caressing that one over the net. fairly stroking it down the sidelines. And it's Japan who take the first point of set number 4. Well, the attempted block from the combination of Kalitskaya and Lazarenko out of bounds. So Japan lead by 2. What a save from Kabata. Carrillo with the clever touch, but ultimately with Russia pulled all over the place after their scrambling efforts, it's Japan who come out on top. But Kabata, during the course of that point, came up with a fantastic play. There was the response from Carrillo, and as she was recovering, the ball came in her direction once again. No chance to keep it alive for her squad. Well put away at the net by Kalitskaya. 9 points in the match for her now. And that gets Russia's first point on the board after a strong start to this 4th set by Japan. And the point lands favorably for Japan, who restore their 3-point lead once again. An unreturnable serve. And Iwasaka with an ace on that low-speed serve over the net to give Japan their largest lead of set number 4. Out of bounds on the attempted kill from Kalitskaya. And what a start to this 4th set by Japan. Substitutions for Russia. As Risova replaces Matvieva. Carrillo with a difficult service reception. Fantastic block at the net. Akutagawa combining with Ishii. And this is a brilliant start by Japan to set number 4. Leading by 6. Russia, well, they're calling timeout here. Japan just 1 point away from bringing up the first technical timeout. But of course, the Russian coach would love to halt that seeming inevitability. He wants to talk things over. Oh, terrific blocking at the net. Akutagawa and Shinobi combining. And the pair of them proving unpassable. A stuff block brings up the first technical timeout. And Russia have got just a solitary point on the board. Thou shalt not pass. Terrific defending. And it's Japan in complete control in the opening stages of this 4th set. Well, Akutagawa has 8 points in the match so far. And she's got one of them in this fourth set, courtesy of a monster block. But not only is she producing point-winning plays, she has been really effective at extending her team's stay in points, returning the ball to Russia, posing the question of them once again. So Iwasaka serving. That's emphatically put away by Russia. And now they will look to build on that momentum. You can perhaps take inspiration from what Japan were able to achieve yesterday when they were put under similar pressure, 8-1 down in the opening set against Turkey. And they kept their composure to close it out. Kabata, according to Axon, after Ishii didn't deal effectively with the serve, she gets it over on contact number 3. Ball still alive. Kabata with the set. Ishii sees it turn back from a combination of Efimova and Risova. And Russia back-to-back points for the first time in this fourth set. They have got their tails up, plenty of fighting spirit and evidence amongst their ranks. Ishii with another difficult service reception. They appear to be targeting here on the most recent 2 serves, and again it's produced another point-winning play. 2 serves in a row. Ishii had difficulty dealing with them. The second contact was then a scrambling effort by the Japanese, and that just resulted in easy pickings at the net for Russia. Terrific hitting. Shinobi on the far side of the court with the cross-court kill. So Russia's run of points without reply ends at 3. Japan up by 5, having led by as many as 7. Oh, wonderful strike from Efimova, who is coming up big in this fourth set. 3 points on the board already for Efimova, all of them coming on clean kills here in set number 4. Takes her to 9 points in the match. An unreturnable serve. Kabata unable to control that one. And the Russian hot hand continues. They reduce the arrears to just 3. Carrillo with her 3rd ace of the match. Carrillo receives the spike deep in the backcourt. Russia scrambling to keep themselves in contention. Ishii sees it turn back, and once again, the Russian blocking proving rock solid at the net. Risova combining with Efimova, and there was no way through. Risova climbing high to send that one back. And she's amongst the most diminutive players on the Russian squad, but she bounced like a rubber ball off the court on that occasion. Terrific play. But it's Japan who arrive at the double-figure total first. So Russia back to within 2. Very clever play. Russia get it over on contact number 3, thanks to some terrific reactions. The reverse set And Russia managed to get it over. They're still fighting. Carrillo with the bump in the backcourt. Kabata caught into action after receiving a rifle of a shot in her direction. Oh, and it's Russia who prevail at the conclusion of an absolutely fantastic point. They were on the ropes for the majority of that exchange, scrambling, reaching, keeping themselves in by their fingertips. Look at that from Lazarenko, typical of the type of play they were able to produce. But ultimately, it was their block. Risova once again in the vicinity. As her and Lazarenko came up with the point-winning play at the conclusion of a terrific exchange. So Japan continuing to withstand the Russian fight back. Since the technical timeout, with Japan led by 7. Russia have outscored Japan 8-3 to get themselves right back into this 4th set. Well judged by Russia, the service error makes it a 1-point 4th set once again, as it was briefly at 10-9 in favor of Russia. So Risova serving, what an impact she has had in set number 4. Big hit on the put away. Sees Japan continue to keep their noses in front. Well put away by Lazarenko, takes her to 9 points in the match. And again, Russia back to within 1. Oh! Put in the firing line was Yurinskaya. No way to contort her body and get out of the way of that one, nor could she produce a controllable contact. Russia, who now trail by 2. Terrific court coverage demonstrated by Sato. They get it over on contact number 3, do Japan. And then Lazarenko goes to double figures in the match. Her 5th clean kill. And Russia back to within 1 yet again. Terrifically placed by Ishii. Didn't really get over the net, but she assessed the spaces amongst the Russian defenses immediately and was able to find it with that well-placed push. Japan up by 2 once again. Ishii with 14 points in the match. Oh, fantastic blocking at the net. Akutagawa climbing high to turn back that attempted kill from Carrillo, but her placement was perfect, as was the position. She was able to push down the block. Fantastic hitting. Russia ensuring that Japan don't stitch together too many points without reply. They are back to within 2. So Kalitskaya serving. Ishii had to improvise to get it over on contact number 3. That's a fantastic save by Japan. And then Carrillo couldn't control the spike that came in her direction. On this occasion, it's Japan's turn to turn around what appeared to be a desperate situation. Look at that from Kurogo. And nothing that Carrillo could do on that point-winning spike from Ishii. That takes her to 14 points in the match. We've arrived at the second technical timeout. Japan leading by 3.
Щербань, как это? Закрываем линию, особенно ждать короткую диагональ. Короткую, либо бьют туда в пальцы. Перенос. Так что настроили. Там чувствовал, мог бросить левую руку, можно бросить. Все, дальше нормально еще.
So into the final third of this 4th set we go. Japan with a 3-point lead. Terrific reflexes by Kurogo. Japan must get it over on his contact. What a hammer blow from Ishii. Oh, that is absolutely sensational. Because Japan were placed under pressure from the hitting of Russia. Watch this recovery from Shinobi. And then setting it up from way out of bounds, but perfectly placed. And Ishii did the rest. Well, Japan have come out strong from the second technical timeout to lead by 5. They've been up by as many as 7. But Russia fought back magnificently just prior to the second technical timeout. But it's Japan who have started this final third in strong fashion to lead by 5. Well, Ishii look at that miscommunication. 2 players on their feet, a third one on the floor. And this is where composure's needed in the clutch. An unforced error on the serve from Shinobi. Sees that run of 3 straight points Japan had produced come to an end. So the timeout proving to be effective in disrupting the Japanese momentum. Can they capitalize here? Carrillo serving, Russia's leading scorer. Oh, that is wonderfully executed. The reverse set was for a quick runaround from Akutagawa. 10 clean kills now in her 12-point total. Watch how low this set point is, but reaching up high and forcing it down with an open palm is Akutagawa. Ishii preparing to serve. Japan leading by 5 once again. Terrific save by Ishii, but it's out of bounds. And Russia have got to make their run here. Perhaps worth pointing out that in their most recent meeting at last year's inaugural Volleyball Nations League, it was Russia who came out on top in 5 sets. They've got to force it to a deciding set here if they hope to repeat that most recent victory. Change of tempo from Japan. Carrillo pushes it over. Oh, wonderful hitting once again, back-to-back. Cross-court kills from Akutagawa off reverse sets. It was wider this time, but the outcome, the result was identical. There's the reverse set, and she's able to find the inside of the sidelines. Akutagawa with 13 points in the match. She takes a seat on the bench. Miyashita checking in for her reliable serving prowess. Carrillo with the service reception. Not to the court is Miyashita. Japan keeping themselves in the point. Russia with time to set. Well, it was difficult for Koga to deal with when the deflected block came in her direction, and Russia producing a point to keep themselves within touching distance, trailing by just 4 now, and how they would relish a run of points here to get themselves back in contention. They stitched 3 points together earlier in the match on a couple of occasions. Risova serving. Terrific recovery by Pilipenko. And it's out of bounds now. Russia are claiming deflection immediately. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a challenge here. And there's the challenge requested from the Russian coach. Immediately, all of the Russians went up in unison, claiming a deflection. So Hawkeye called into action to determine the outcome of what is a crucial point in this 4th set. And there's the deflection right there off the index finger of Iwasaka. The touch confirmed, so instead of 21-16, it is now 20-17. Russia closing fast. So that score has to be amended. Risova serving, here it is. 3 points now, a mere 3 points, the Japanese advantage. Lazarenko climbing high for her 6th clean kill of the contest. 11 points in the match for her now, and Russia are right back in this one. What a fantastic fight back by Russia throughout this 4th set, truth be told, because they were down by as many as 7 after Japan came blazing out of the gate to lead 8 points to 1. But since that time, they have scratched and clawed and competed. And here, having been down by 5 at 2015, Russia have rattled off 3 points without reply to close to just 2 points down. So Risova serving. Terrific hit from the left flank. Kurogo with her 6th clean kill of the match. Hasn't featured as heavily in this match today as she did yesterday when she led her team in scoring with 20 points. But that a timely one indeed, stemming Russia's run of points without reply at 3 and increasing the advantage to Japan to 3 points. But that's short-lived. That's a terrific put away by Irinskaya. Bounding off the court magnificently. And it's Russia who continue on a roll. They are now down by just 1. In a set they had yet to lead. Can they get their noses in front as we edge towards the winning line? Solid block at the net by Russia. Japan reset. Another strong blocking performance by Russia at the net, but then how about that down the sidelines? Japan keeping their composure and executing excellently when the question was posed by the solid Russian blocking at the net. Korogo preparing to serve. Her team lead by 2, just 2 points away from match point. And still, Russia making Japan fight for this one. Kaletskaya with 12 points in the match now, 9 clean kills. And the back and forth nature of this contest overall continues, because truth be told, here in set number 4, it is Japan who have been in the advantageous position throughout, but the momentum is squarely with Russia. Almost an unreturnable serve. It is an unreturnable serve. Lazarenko with her second ace of the match in her 12-point total, and we are all square, 22 points apiece. The first time we have been level since the opening exchange of this set, when it was 0-0 on the scoreboard. What a fight back by Russia, who were down by as many as 7. And now, well, this one in the balance and up for grabs in the closing stages of set number 4.
Играет четверка, первого не будет. Линию закрыть, все вдвоем, все близко.
Well, Japan were down, Japan were ahead 20-15. Since that time, they have outscored Russia 7-2. Lazarenko off an ace, looking to give Russia their first lead of this 4th set. Big moment here. Well, Ishii climbing high. And now Japan 1 point away from match point. Ishii with a terrific put away. High speed, straight down the sideline. Ishii with 16 points in the match. And as has been customary, they call in Nabea. So it's Russia who continue to cling on. So we are all square, 23 points apiece. Got a few problems with our graphic score, but I can tell you it is 23 points all. Both teams looking to bring up set points. So all of the officials just ensuring that everything is correct before we can proceed. Massive moment in this match here. It's Russia serving. They battle back to even it up at 23. Oh, and it's match point now for Japan off that clean kill from Shinobi. 17 points in the match, and that one was emphatic. How do you deal with a rocket at that speed when it's fired down towards your ankles? Russia helpless, and now match point for Japan. Terrific reflexes by Shinobi. Kabata with the set. Ishii climbing high for the spike. Pilipenko pushes it up. Carrillo called into action. Kabata goes down low. Ball at the net, and it's Russia who put it down. They stave off the first match point and tie things up at 24 points apiece. Terrific point. Fantastic defending in evidence from both teams. But Efimova, the Russian captain, leading by example and coming up trumps. 11 points in the match for her now. And it's set points for both teams. Remember, 2 clear points required. Oh, sensational. Akutagawa off the reverse set once again. She's used that to terrific effect, particularly here in set number 4. And for the second time, it is match point Japan. 25 points to 24. Akutagawa coming up big. 7 points in the 4th set alone. Terrific save by Pilipenko. The set is going to have to be bumped over by Urinskaya. Japan with plenty of time to set. The backcourt set. The reverse set calls Akutagawa into action once again. And on this occasion, at the second time of asking, Japan close it out. Well, a challenge has been requested. So the celebrations not yet official. Will they be premature? Will they be timely from a Japanese point of view? Because the services of Hawkeye are being called upon. Nervous moments for all of the players here now as we await the verdict of Hawkeye. Because Japan did a center line fault. And no fault is the verdict. And so that means it is the point in favor of Japan. And they close out the match point at the second time of asking to take an absolutely fantastic 4th set by a scoreline of 26 points to 24. And it means that they take this match by a scoreline of 3 sets to 1. 25-22, 23-25, 25-18, and 26-24. It took 2 hours and 8 minutes to conclude, but it is Japan who have posted back-to-back victories here in Pool 6 play.